Hello, bass players. Today, we will be working on bowing without the tube. I call this the bow to string lesson. If you have not practiced bowing in a while, I recommend you watch the Bow in Tubes video and you practice and review bowing in a tube. Okay, let's begin. First thing you want to do is get your bow ready and tighten your bow. You can do the test. I'm going to test my bow like this. Make sure it's properly tightened. Got it? Okay. Next, now that your bow is tightened, we need to apply rosin to the bow. So bass rosin is really sticky. And one thing you should be aware of is we rosin the bow like this. So I'm going to hold the bow at the frog, and I'm not making a bow hold. I'm just kind of grabbing the bow in my right hand. I'm holding the rosin. And I'm going to move the bow from frog to tip in one motion. I'm not going to go like this. I'm not rubbing it on up and down. I actually go for bass rosin, frog to tip. Put the rosin here, fast bow. If you will know, I would do about 2 to 3 swipes of rosin and check your bow. And we'll talk more about rosin later. So once we start bowing, we'll figure out, okay, did I put on too much rosin? Not enough. Once you start bowing, you'll be able to tell if you have not enough, just right, or too much. Okay, let's begin. There are 4 steps to bowing. Step 1, lift. Let's practice this together. Make your bow hold. And this is step 1, lift. The second step is called set. So lift, now set. And I'm going to place the bow directly on the D string. I'm placing it somewhere in between the balance point, which is my sticker, and the grip, right about that area. Let's do those 2 steps together. Lift, set, in this case on the D string. Notice I don't have a tube anymore. So the tube would normally lay across the string about where my bow is. See my bow? It would normally lay about right there. So when we set the bow, we don't want to set it up here. We don't want to set it on the bridge. We want to set it in about the middle-ish or just, instead of right in the middle, maybe a little more towards the fingerboard, about right there. One more time. Lift, set. The next step is called settle. Settle. What we're going to do is we're going to let the weight of our arm, our bow arm right here, sink into the string. And to make sure you have a good settle on the bass, I want you to let your arm sink into the string, keep your bow hold, and can you wiggle the D string back and forth without making sound? If you look closely in the video, if you look down here where my finger is, right at that string, you'll actually see me moving the string left and right with the bow almost glued to the string. Can you see my D string wiggling? My arm is, the weight of my arm is pushing into the string, and then I'm grabbing the string with the bow and moving it back and forth. That is settling. Let's do those 3 steps again. Lift, set on the D string. Now settle. The weight of your arm sinks into the D string, and we could actually have enough weight to wiggle the string back and forth, the D string, left and right. Oh, I made a crunch there. No crunching. Just wiggling. The final step is to pull. So let's do the 4 steps together. Lift, set on the D string, settle, now pull. Those are the 4 steps. You'll want to practice this in a mirror so you can know, okay, is my bow straight? Am I setting the bow at the proper spot? Here, no. Here, too low. Just right. A mirror can really also tell you, is your bow crooked or straight? Remember, we want the bow to make a T with the string. We want the bow to be perpendicular to the string. Let's do those 4 steps together. Lift, set on the D string, settle, and check your settle. Make sure you can almost wiggle the string back and forth without making sound, and pull. Now to practice this, I like to use a metronome. Let's set a metronome to 70 beats per minute. Now that I have my metronome set, We will do lift, set, settle, pull, and we will bow a half note for 2 clicks. Let's do it together. Lift, set, settle, ready, go. 1, 2, off. Let's do it again. Lift, set, settle, ready, pull. 1, 2, off. It's important as you're bowing to think about, is your bow straight or crooked? And if it is crooked as you're bowing, how can you adjust your arm to make it straight? So do we need to adjust our arm and wrist like this? Do we have to adjust our arm and wrist like this? Do we have our posture? Check your arm motion in a mirror to make sure it looks like mine all the way across. And the other thing we need to think about when we're playing this is our sound quality. Remember how I talked about rosin a little bit ago? This is where this can come in. If you're getting this kind of sound, where it sounds really wispy, like someone's going, almost like it's like air is just scooting over the string, that means either you're not letting your arm sink enough with enough weight, or if you are trying to put weight into the string and you're still getting a wispy sound, you need more rosin or a different bass rosin. And your teacher can help you find a quality bass rosin. Now, if you're getting this sound, can you hear the crunching? If you're getting a lot of crunching from the bass in particular, that may mean you have too much rosin on the bow. So that could be a factor too, if you're getting just way too much crunch. Now that we've talked about keeping a bow straight and sound quality, let's practice this lift, set, settle, pull with the metronome set to 70 beats per minute as an up bow. My metronome is set to 70, and we're going to practice this up bow. Lift, set near the upper half of the bow. Notice my arm is away from the bass. Settle into the string and pull. Ready, go. Again, lift, set the up bow at the tip, settle into the string, ready, pull. You'll want to practice this bowing exercise with the metronome multiple times to where you're comfortable with lift, set, settle, pull. Once you're comfortable with half notes, I would start working on quarter notes. So you would do the same concept. You do lift, set, settle, pull, and you could go like this. Down, up, and rest for 4 beats. Notice when you do quarter notes, on bass, you're not going to go all the way out to here. You'll use less bow for quarter notes. This week's lesson is only about bowing. So next week, to prepare for next week, I would pluck any song between page 9 and page 14 so you can review plucking songs, because there's no new plucking song this week. I hope you enjoy bowing on bow to string. Lift, set, settle, pull is an important exercise that's really going to help you make sound. Great job and good luck this week.